Well, I'm trying to think what's appropriate for
This would be a good opening.
pod. This is the opening.
This will be the
people,
cold open.
It's very cold.
Get over yourself! Enlightened or whatever!
Fantastic. We need something on the background, so we're gonna let the guests decide.
Oh, really?
You can pick anything. I'm gonna go on Google.
Oh, really? Well, what is everybody doing with this AI art thing? That's something that's happening today?
I did it. I did do it.
Can we have one of those? Can we have? No, why not?
My face?
Yeah. Your face AI.
You can pick one. I'll send it to myself.
Okay, let's do that. I don't know how it works. I'm just the little bit that I've been on the social medias today.
I'm embarrassed to say I did it. Here, pick one. There are 50.
Oh,
Ty,
you're ripped in one of these.
Am I saying Bailey? Bailey, right?
Yeah, Bailey. Yeah, it's just like
Ty
Bailey.
Baille is deciding the background. I have nothing to do.
What is with the guns here?
You can keep scrolling.
What is the guns?
They give you I don't know.
Let's go with the. Actually, that's too intimidating.
Have you scrolled far all the way to see all the different?
Oh, there's more?
Keep scrolling. There are 50 different AI images that they give you, all within different sort of like character themes.
Oh.
And I hate most of them. They all give me big boobs.
Hate big boobs.
Big muscle. Yeah, I don't like big boobs.
Little boobs, little muscles.
I like big boobs, not on myself.
I like big. Okay. That's pretty good.
All right. Wow. All right.
It's not flattering.
It's not flattering at all.
Hold on. It's so not flattering.
It's opposite of flattering. That's like me, ugly cartoon.
Yeah. Okay.
That's fine.
Okay. Hold on. This might be the whole podcast. Just
there
me.
are some that are like Game of Thrones.
Well, I'm trying to think what's appropriate for.
This would be a good opening.
This is the opening.
This will be the cold open.
It's very cold. But that's a hot picture.
That was Robin's favorite.
Yeah, let's go with that.
She was like,
yeah, that one's hot.
Okay, well, I guess.
Robin's cool. I knew it.
Save in 4K. Save in standard. I don't need this bullshit in 4K.
Is this a paid thing? You pay them?
I don't want to talk about it. Yes, it's a paid. Did you know this? I'm talking to Sage. And I'm going to airdrop the background.
Airdrop.
Okay.
Yeah, what is this girl thinking right there?
Look at that bitch.
How enlightened is this person?
She's a social justice warrior.
There it is. But also appropriate sized breasts.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish I kind of looked like that a little more.
I think you're doing just fine. Her hand is grotesquely misshapen. So let's not lean into that. Is that a finger or a little mushroom penis? That right? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes. I think it's a ring.
I'm
wearing rings and shit.
Oh, I see. Well,
wow,
I see what I want to see.
Okay. Well, this is the background. Ty?
Yes.
Thank you for choosing this.
My pleasure. Felt great.
Welcome to the pod.
Oh, and we're going.
And we're going.
Oh, that was a sneak attack.
Okay. Well, I have no regimen for this pod. I just wanted to invite you to come and hang and sit. So we just need to, I'm just going to be honest in every moment. I'm trying to actively not acknowledge that there are cameras here and just pretend that you're here.
Whoa, cameras where? Oh, I see them now.
Got it.
No.
Okay.
That's good. Let's ignore them together. We can do this.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's easy.
Ty.
Yes.
It's good to see you.
What?
It's good to see you. Cheers.
Good to see you too.
Welcome
it's
to
fantastic to see you. Thank you. Oh, cheers. Cha-ching. Cha-ching. Yay, and to that girl too.
This bitch.
Mm-hmm.
So, we recently saw each other.
Yes, we did.
But we should go way back. I was telling Sage about how we know each other. And it's through our mutual friend, Carrie.
Carrie Frank, yes.
Who's a keyboard player.
Yes, and so much more.
And so much more. He loves cats.
Oh, boy, does he love cats.
He loves cats.
That's a whole other podcast.
He loves, like, diddling on a bunch of different instruments all the time. Anyway,
mm-hmm.
That's Carrie. I grew up with Carrie.
Mm-hmm.
You met Carrie in Los Angeles.
Yes.
When?
I think it was about 2014, 2015. Yeah, in Los Angeles there.
That was like the year after or 2 years after we graduated from college.
Oh, is that right?
So you guys have known each other for a while.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he's young. He's younger than me. And you guys met playing gigs together?
Yeah, I met him because I had this organ trio that was playing in Hollywood on Monday nights. And then I ended up, hey, I got to go tour with this pop singer, and I needed somebody to take over the gig for me. And I knew
That's right.
and he would
I
come and
remember.
sit in, and I was like, "Who's this? This is the guy." And I
Yeah,
told
yeah.
the band, "No, this is the guy to replace me, the sub." And they're like, "Yeah, I don't know. He's kind of a jazz piano nerd." I'm like, "No, make him cool. You know, take
Yeah.
him under your wing and make him cool." And they made him so cool. He's cooler than all of us.
He became really cool.
He became he just became really cool.
I didn't attribute that to that gig. I just attributed that to him just like becoming himself more. But that
Right.
makes sense that he would cross paths with you, an organ trio, and then suddenly become cool
Mm-hmm.
and all that
Yeah,
jazz.
I mean, I will take full credit for the evolution of Carrie Frank.
Good.
But I can't. He's wonderful. But yeah, he was like a jazz piano student there at whatever school he went to there, and
USC.
USC. Thanks. And yeah, just I said this is the guy to play this organ trio in Hollywood, California.
Yeah.
And I left for like 8 months to go on tour, and when I came back, and he
Took your
was
fucking
doing it.
gig. No.
He took my fucking gig. No, that's all right.
You glazed over it, a big pop artist. We'll get there.
Oh, okay.
But how we met is because I was visiting Los Angeles. Why do I say that so properly? LA. And I was there for, I don't know why, probably some songwriting. I probably had sessions or something.
Mm-hmm.
And Carrie invited me out to an organ trio.
Mm-hmm.
You were there.
Yeah.
We ended up talking. You're very charismatic.
Oh,
I'm not
loud.
shy.
I'm loud.
I'm
People
loud.
mistake that for charisma sometimes.
Yeah. Are you an introvert
I don't know, man.
deep down? Do you like being alone, or do you prefer
I like
to
it both.
engage?
I can do both.
I feel like you're
I'm
out a lot.
exhausted either way.
Really?
Yeah, if I'm by myself, I get tired, and if I'm around other people, I get tired too. So I don't know.
It doesn't fill you up to be with other people as much.
Nothing fills me up. I gotta. No, I'm
We'll
sorry.
get,
That's
we'll
being
get
dark.
there.
I know.
Whoa, this took a turn.
Whoa.
No, we'll
we
get
we
there.
got right into the whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, we. Nothing
No,
fills me up.
I'm not self-reflective enough to really know whether I'm
Great.
an introvert or extrovert.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'm trying to figure out where I want to take this, because I want people to know. I want them to know like your story, but I also want it to be organic and sort of take an audience out of the mix right
Oh,
now. Do
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
Well, I can give you like bulletin points.
but I want to have like a natural progression of a conversation with you.
Yeah, sure. Well, let's take it from why were you in LA and why was I in LA? Why were we both in LA?
I like this.
Yeah.
This is collaboration.
But what were you there
well,
for?
I was in LA. I was working on music.
Mm-hmm.
And went out one night, met you. We stayed in touch.
Mm-hmm.
You were just living in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And I also think there's this element of like when a close friend, specifically someone like Carrie, who I met when I was 13.
Right.
And then someone that knows you before you are the you now,
Mm-hmm.
there's an element of comfort when they bring someone into your ether, because I already have an established rapport with him
Uh-huh.
and an established trust.
Right.
And so he's not just some rando dude being like, this is my buddy, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, so there's a comfort when a very close friend of mine introduces me to a new friend.
Yes.
Where I'm instantly like, I don't know, maybe it's naive, but like trusting.
Sure, and that goes the other way too. In this particular instance, I remember when Carrie introduced me to you. Like, this is one of my, oldest, bestest friend, and I didn't know Carrie terribly well at the time. And then I met you. I'm like, oh, she's rad. This is great. Carrie knows awesome people, and they stay in his life for a long time. So Carrie must be cool.
I think we're just a product of like our upbringing, which we could talk a lot about.
for sure.
But like
absolutely.
growing up like tight knit, small vibes. Where also we were kind of other in the fact that we were like, you know, two of the only people who played music seriously. And
Oh, is that right? You guys, okay.
yeah, we were pretty much the only. I mean, I was involved in a lot of different things,
Mhm.
but Carrie, yeah, he was always that way. He was always that way,
Mhm.
even in high school. Very hardcore, very serious. We would leave. Our band teacher was amazing, who you met at his wedding.
Oh, yeah.
And
He's
he would
great.
like call us in from class and just let us skip class to just jam,
Oh,
and
awesome.
would
Yeah.
give us like these long lessons where he would just sit and pontificate, and
Mhm.
it was epic. So I think like when your like foundational years are made up of that kind of connection,
Mhm.
I don't think we recently talked about it. I don't even think we realized how rare that kind of thing is when people last that long.
Oh,
because
absolutely.
you
Yeah.
built which leads me to my next thing. You and your wife
Oh,
have
yay, I'm married.
known each other for forever.
Yeah, we.
But where are you from?
Well, okay, yeah. Organically, we'll talk about my marriage, which is the best thing ever.
Well, we could start with like how did you end up in LA?
Okay, well, I'll tell you. Okay, we'll start by when my life really started, which is when I met my wife. No, I'm just
That's like
that's really cute. She's not going to listen to this, so let's be honest. No, we grew up on farms next to each other in southeastern Washington State, middle of nowhere out there. We're farm kids. She's a dairy girl, and I'm a alfalfa hay farmer kid. And we didn't go to the same grade school, but we met in 7th grade, and we just kind of hit it off, best buds through high school. And she wouldn't date me because I was, you know, kind of a screw up, and eventually dropped out of high school and didn't have a lot of prospects. And but finally, she went off to college and realized those guys are lame too, and so we got together. And yeah, we've been married 19 years, and we've been together for 24 years, going on 25.
You guys told me about this at our friend's wedding.
Yes.
But the really interesting part that I remember being like, fuck, I hope we get to talk about this in more detail, because I thought it was really cool how you guys left where you grew up, moved to Seattle.
Seattle first, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sunk your teeth deep into a scene there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Have your thoughts about that. You can talk about, and then from there ended up going to LA. But why was the move from where you were from to Seattle?
It was first of all, Seattle's awesome, and it was the nearest big city, and there was a jazz pianist there that I wanted to study with, and like a little arts college that I wanted to go to, and I didn't, never been in a big city, so I didn't know how to meet people. So the school kind of made sense to do that.
Yeah.
And we were at a point, I had dropped out of high school and was farming, and just figured, I'm going to be a farmer.
What were you farming?
Alfalfa hay.
Oh, that's why you literally said alfalfa hay farmer.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know what the fuck that was.
Oh, it's what cows eat. Yeah. And horses. Yeah. So we grew feed for like.
Cool.
Yeah. The cute thing is like she was a dairy. She grew up on a dairy farm, and we sold them what the cows eat to make milk, kind of thing. So it was a little.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't like,
cool.
Montagues and Capulets or anything, but, two different sides of Eastern Washington agriculture,
cool,
which is not as interesting as you might think. So we just moved to Seattle because, it's famously a music city. And I was like, hey, let's see if I can't play piano for a living and not sit on a tractor and wrestle cows all day.
Right.
Yeah.
And you didn't, and you moved.
And we moved together, and we lived there for 13 years, and it was cool.
So you get to Seattle.
Yeah.
How does that literally, on a physical, how does that look? You get to Seattle, you have what? You have bags packed, you have gear, do you have where to live, you have...
Oh, just physically? Oh, well, we'd never been...
What does a major move together like that look like to begin somewhere new for you two?
Yeah, we didn't know... we didn't have a lot of stuff. Neither of us grew up very wealthy or at all, but we just kind of went there, got a studio apartment there on Capitol Hill, which is kind of a hipster part of town, and
cool. Artsy
and cultural, and we're just, right in the middle, fish out of water, just some kind of hillbillies, like, immersed into, like, this great kind of liberal-minded artistic community of wackos, and it was great. It was awesome. Yeah, it was totally a different world. Yeah, it was.
And you start going out and you start gigging?
Just started going out, meeting people and playing in bands, and and practiced hard. I had a lot of catching up to do. There wasn't a lot of music out in Eastern Washington, so it's a big city. You got to step it up, and worked really hard and became a professional jazz pianist, and then realized, oh boy, let's do something else.
Is that when that's not when the organ came into your
No,
life?
that's as soon as I bought an organ and started joining rock bands and being an original indie rock bands, then I started traveling the world. Yeah. So that opened up a lot of doors when I got into the Hammond organ. Yeah.
That was in Seattle.
That was in Seattle. Yeah.
And then you left. You're like, fuck this place. I'm over it. What sparked the move to LA?
I was, Seattle's
say
awesome. The
it.
music's you just kind of, I was playing with all the rock stars, and side projects. I was, I was in a band with this billionaire guy who started Microsoft, Paul
I remember
Allen.
you talking about
And I was traveling, I was there was I don't know, I guess I kind of hit a ceiling
sure.
to where I'm like, well, where do I go from here? Because there's not a lot of industry there. And it's rainy and cold. And, I was in 30 different indie rock bands that were, didn't do anything outside of make awesome, weird music.
And just be sort of in that local scene.
Yeah, just local scene stuff, which was great. It was fantastic. But yeah, LA's, everybody, has that idea of it's warm, it's nice, it smells like jasmine, and in West Hollywood there by the Troubadour when you play there one time and you're like, oh, I'm moving here now. This is great. This is where I want to live.
And the clouds always part.
Oh, always.
So that the Lord herself can see all the beautiful people.
She can. Oh, and the most beautiful people inside and out. Absolutely.
Okay, so let's fast forward. You glazed over this. And I don't want the whole thing to be about this, but this is a huge chunk of your career and your life for an artist who is the reason you ended up leaving your trio.
The organ trio, yes.
The organ trio.
Yes.
And you left for 8 months.
Yeah,
and you ended up
the first stretch.
in
and
this job
8 months
with
turned into 5 years.
Are we allowed to say that?
Yeah, Katy Perry, yeah.
So you played with Katy Perry.
We can say her name out loud. I mean,
it rhymes with Schmady Schmary.
Schmady Schmary. Masher and Shudson.
So how does...
Thanks, you got that. You got that.
I'm thinking about anybody watching this, some little 14-year-old boy, girl, whatever, whoever, who is, and I think when you're in this phase of career that we're all working musicians, producers, and it's easy to say, and then I did this, and then I got this, and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But on a practical, that physical level, what does that look like for you? So you're gigging, someone saw you play?
Yeah, it was simply kind of like the way that people kind of imagine LA used to work. It's I just showed up, didn't know anybody, just started meeting musicians, started a band, started playing around town. That got the attention of her MD, came out, watched me play, and it got me.
It was her music.
Her music
MD
director.
Stands for musical director.
Musical director. That is a very LA term. Though here in Nashville we got them too.
Yeah.
So that got me the audition when they needed somebody, and I went through the whole LA process of playing in front of a camera, getting a call back, playing in front of the artist, and then waiting until last minute for them to make a decision, and jumping on a plane and flying to Spain, meeting the band at the sound check, and then off you go on a world tour.
Were you nervous? Was it
absolutely
the way
nervous.
You went into it and the way you came out of it different? Obviously, you'd be different anyway. Time has elapsed.
Right.
You'd be different regardless of that experience. But in context of that experience, you had stars in your eyes and you had this idea of what this would be.
Yeah, it was
exciting.
Yeah, it was terribly exciting. It was I started right after her halftime performance at the Super Bowl.
It was
I missed that gig by one.
What year was that?
That was 2015, I believe.
That's right.
And it was the biggest thing ever at the time, Left
Damn.
Shark, the whole thing. So yeah, and I was coming out into, I've been around rock stars and stuff like that in Seattle. I was used to being in these kind of weird heightened environments, but a big giant pop tour of that size, how does this even work?
Yeah.
There's 100 people on tour with this thing. It's giant.
Yeah.
How do you wrap your brain around it?
You have matching outfits.
Multiple outfit costume changes mid-show. Like we had our old wardrobe people. Yeah, it was all those things.
Your gear is decked out.
My gear is whatever Katy wants it to be. Sometimes it looks like zebra pajamas. Sometimes it's pink fuzzy. I mean,
people paint it.
Paint
like
it
they'll
or
take
wrap
your
it.
Mellotron
Or
and
sets change all the time. It's always whatever creative thing Katy has in her brain.
And is it your gear?
It's not my gear. No, they would
None of
they
it's
would
your
purchase the gear for me.
So at that
for
level, I'm picturing like, you know, someone who's out with a musician who's out playing with name XYZ band that plays in a theater, for example, versus a global superstar.
Right.
They buy every cable, they buy every gear, or are there isms that like you get to the comforts of your setup?
That's a really good question. These are all good questions, by the way.
Thank you.
Let me see if I can answer with good answers. I think it very much depends on what camp, but in my position, just being a keyboard player in that camp, I was pretty limited as to like the scope of what I could do. Like I had basically room on stage for 2 keyboards. I mean, we're playing huge stages, but there's choreo, there's props, there's just it's craziness up there.
It's fucking batshit.
Yeah, it's nutty.
Incredible.
So basically, I had my rig up on stage, 2 keyboards, and a guy under the stage that was kind of running playback and like in control of like a lot of my sounds and stuff like that. But yeah, I didn't use anything, not a single thing of mine. And I think that was the same for everybody else in that band. Guitars because they were being changed out constantly for different looks, you know.
I see.
So like
I see.
you never, guitars would change all the time, drums would change all the time.
Dude.
Yeah, it's just,
That's
you know,
crazy.
it's pretty bonkers to think about. Yeah.
You made me look really cool. I have to tell you something.
Oh, okay.
I probably already told you this.
Yeah, it doesn't take much to make you look cool. I mean, look over there. Look at that girl.
I totally forgot. Damn.
Look at that girl. It's a cool girl. Is that a tattoo or just like horrible scarring on your left?
I think it's supposed to be a tattoo.
It's supposed to be a tattoo? Cool tattoo.
Yeah.
How did I let you look cool?
So, well, fast forward, you had already been playing in Katy Perry's band.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna call her Katy. That'd be douchey. I don't know her.
Katy.
You
KP.
call her Katy.
KP.
Okay. Does she have a middle name? Katy Anne Hathaway Perry.
That's nice.
You invited me. You were like, anytime you want to see a show, just let me know. Yada yada.
Mm-hmm.
I had seen her play. Not to make this is not. I don't want to go on a tangent about Katy Perry. This is just gonna tie into my story.
Yes.
I saw her at my when she had like You're Hot and You're Cold was big, or I Kissed a Girl was big.
Yep.
In high school at my big senior high school trip, where you get to go to Universal Studios and then they bring an artist, and at that time I think she was sort of starting to grow on this little rinky-dinky stage at Universal. So that was my last sort of experience with her live show. Not that I'm not a fan, but you said anytime you want to go, and I knew it was going to be a bit of a spectacle and very cool experience. And my then, fiance, we had just gotten married, and the next day after the concert, after Katy Anne Hathaway Perry was going to be playing, it was going to be playing in Nashville. Robin, my wife, and I were going to Thailand for our honeymoon.
Right.
So I was like, this would be a cool send off. So we went to the show. We thought we were just going to be in, the pit or whatever. And we get there and you welcomed us with this big hug.
Yeah.
And I had just told Robin, hey, this is my buddy Ty. At this time, I think we had just started had maybe it via our mutual friend and whatever. You didn't even live in Nashville.
No. Yeah.
It was just sort of this mutual friend trust thing. You're not a fucking weirdo creep, and you were like you're not a weirdo creep. You're just a nice person.
Well, we had a not weirdo creep in common.
Yeah, we're probably gonna be buds, and it was very cool and very sweet of you to extend an invitation. And we went, and then you brought us backstage.
Yeah,
and we got to have drinks, and of course I'm like. She knew by then. I mean, we had been through a whole, years together already. She knew me, but there's also this little element of there's still a little bit of flex, you know, I was like,
Oh,
yeah, like, yeah, like totally, it's totally normal. And
Whatever,
I got to bring her to this thing. And then after the show, we got to like chill on your bus
Yeah.
and chat. And she looks over at me. And I used to work, I don't know if I ever told you this, but I used to work at a music venue in college for 4 years. And I was a hospitality runner.
Oh, okay. So yes.
Which, for those who don't know, is someone who gets a list of all of the requests that the artist and the band wants throughout the day. You get a budget, and you sort of have to work within that budget. And you provide all those things during the day, basically running errands all day. You're the first one in, last one out.
Yeah,
You
it's
drive the tour
hard
bus
job.
driver to the hotel and everything. And that was sort of how I got my first, like, vantage point of what real working live music looked like. So as a former runner who had been on buses in a working capacity before, but to have my like new partner, life partner, be like, she turns to me and she's like, we're on a fucking tour bus right now. And I was like, yeah, bitch. Like, yeah, we're on this. And then I was chatting with someone and ended up finding out it was Tony Royster Jr.
Oh, was Tony on that tour? Oh, that must have been Witness.
Yes.
Yeah.
Big basketballs. It was crazy. It was
Oh
wild.
God, that was Witness.
It was crazy. It was so cool.
Yeah.
As well as a lovely, lovely gentleman that I also knew from past life in Orlando, Florida, where I went to college, who plays bass.
Oh, Josh Moreau.
This is embarrassing that I don't know this.
There was Chris Payton on guitar.
We've
There's
worked
Devin
together.
Eisenbarger on guitar.
Not
Andy
that. It was
Carney.
pre that. He wasn't in the band. He wasn't in the band. He was friends with someone in the band. He just came.
Oh.
He's in a very big band.
Oh, I wonder who
They
that
were on
was.
like hiatus. He plays bass. Mitchell fuck me.
What do you look like?
His band has a song. Sage, you might know this. Do you know a song that goes, I used to. I do now. No?
Tainted Love.
You guys.
Got to that
That doesn't give away that like 30-second clip. Mitchell?
Mitchell.
Fucking fuck.
Anyway, he was there.
We'll get back to it. Whatever.
He wasn't. He must not have been that cool. I didn't.
We had a small world of mutual friends. Anyway, it was just a very cool, lovely full circle moment of I feel myself digging too far into the subject, and I kind of want to part ways with it now. But that moment was really exciting, and it felt in the muck of like day-to-day life that felt sort of like this like, you know, you're not really ever getting these like rock star things that I think the external world that's not in music views it as.
Yeah.
But that was a moment of like, well, this is kind of a
it's
cool
those little things that
rock star moment of,
Yeah.
and then, you know, back to your day to day. But it was a nice, cool experience to get to share with my partner. And you
well, I'm glad.
let us come. It's so sweet of you.
On the flip side of that, you know, when you're on tour like that, that's your day to day, and you see the same people every day, and you're like, oh my God, please, cool people, come backstage so we can hang out with us. We're so lonely and sad.
So yeah, and then I realized
We're so lonely and sad.
and then I knew
please come on the bus, please.
Yeah.
Tell us about your day. Oh, please.
What's it like out there?
What's it like out there?
How was Publix today? How was
you wake up in
Kroger?
your own bed? Oh my gosh. Yeah, how was
dude.
Publix?
That's fucking brutal.
Yeah.
I read a thing about how no matter if you're on a bus or if you're in a van or if you were what I was doing for years, college and after, whether you're just in your car with a couple of bandmates and coming back from a tour does not matter what quote unquote like commercial level that is at, feels the same. There's this sense of like, it was this like little short essay that this person wrote when they'd gotten back from tour and it went viral online. I forgot what it was, but it's basically saying how like time has passed and people are in their lives and your suitcase smells of all the fucking places you've been and your cases smell a certain way and you kind of parachute back into like everyone was doing this. Meanwhile, you're in your own vortex, sort of moving at its own pace with its own day-to-day isms that are kind of irrelevant when you're back in your own life.
Yeah.
that's not tour related.
Yeah, it's.
Do you like touring?
I love touring. Absolutely, I love touring. I like it. I like it in smaller doses now than I used to, because something that I kind of learned about myself was that I really liked touring because everywhere we were living kind of sucked. Whatever crappy apartment in LA or wherever, or Seattle, wherever we were living, it just kind of stunk. So it's like, let's go out on tour, stay in nice hotels and have catering. Basically be infantilized, It's just like everything's taken care of. All I got to do is I got to get down to the lobby of the hotel at 3 p.m. That's all I have to do. And it's like, it's not a healthy, it's a nice vacation in some aspects.
Yeah.
But,
when does the romance of it end?
The romance of it ends. And that's one of the reasons I kind of stopped doing the Katy gig. I remember, I think we're doing Rock in Rio in Portugal, and it was like 100,000 people or something. I remember being out there and being like, oh, I don't feel anything. Maybe I shouldn't be the one up here, kind of thing.
Yes.
And it's just like, let's move aside. This is somebody else's dream.
Is it like when you watch too much porn?
Oh, tell me about it. And you just want to watch more and more porn,
and
then you're getting in weirder and weirder porn.
It's that musical. It's like career porn, basically, where it's like where you feel.
Mm-hmm.
I can relate. Not in the sense that I've played Rockin' in Rio. What is it?
Mm-hmm.
Rio Rockin'?
Rockin' in Rio in Portugal. Yeah, it doesn't
Rockin'
make any
in Rio?
sense. It's a big music festival. Yeah.
I can envision it. But again, like at my own level of play, like moonlighting in bars, gigging 5 to 7 nights a week in college, after college, not wanting to get a conventional job and continuing to sort of do the grind and put in the work while I'm working at the theater and cleaning toilets and doing all these other things and learning about things from both ends, and then using my cover gig money to bootstrap tours that are self-booked, and you're playing all these little kids. But that I stopped even that after a few years, because for different reasons, only in hindsight am I now also realizing it was for so many other reasons, but I was so hyper focused on the game of it, I think, and the end goal, that I lost. I'm old enough and now that was years ago, but I lost the plot.
Oh, sure.
And then you're numb and you're not even nervous getting up to play in places that Moonlighting Me, who is playing Sunday morning bar gigs for brunch, would be dying to play headlining a listening room or whatever. And then I started feeling nothing for whatever reason, and that's a whole other thing. When I left and I ended up going backpacking for a year, and
you got to step away from it. And
step away,
because it's hard to force gratitude. Like, even when you're aware that you're like, you should be feeling it, sometimes it's hard to just like, I'm very lucky to be here right now. I need to feel nothing but gratitude and just thankfulness, which is another way of saying gratitude. I have a small vocabulary. It's great to be on podcasts.
But I get what you're saying. You can't. But it's not.
You need to know when to step away and recharge the batteries.
It's also just not a human. It's not a healthy human experience. Like, the thing is, you can't force gratitude, but at the same time, I wake up. Before this podcast, I was with Luna, my daughter. I have a daughter who's 1.5 years old. And, I'm in this new phase of trying to figure out what my day-to-day is. Anyway, it's like, today she was sick. We were all homesick, and it was a grind, and I knew I had this to look forward to. But even that, I'm grateful for my time with her, because that's not an unhealthy existence. But I do feel that being in front of thousands of people every night and waking up at weird hours and being on buses and move, whether you're playing a listening, that it's like, it's not even, you're not grateful. I not that I'm already pontificating, but like, that doesn't feel like a natural human existence where your chemicals are going to be like,
no, your serotonin's
it's great.
Yeah, it starts off as such a roller coaster, and then it levels out, and then you get worried. It's just when you start losing the buzz of just like all the adrenaline and everything of a show, and then you're in a tour and you're on the 180th show of that tour. And it's just like a grind, Yeah.
Is there
it's a weird
anything
feeling.
that you would do to bring you back to that moment? Would you be like, well, would you guilt yourself thinking like, well, 13-year-old Ty would,
I think I lived it hard. I lived all of that hard. I have no regrets,
some of your
man.
stories.
No, I had a blast.
You did it.
And I still have a blast. But that wide-eyed, young me that's out there like, what is this world? This is crazy.
Yeah.
And now look to me, I'm old, broken, and jaded. No, I wouldn't trade any of that.
I don't think you're
Absolutely
old, broken, and jaded.
Oh, thank you very much. I wasn't fishing for a compliment, but I'll take it.
You did a thing.
Yeah. And I'm still doing things. I'm doing cool things.
You will take this fucking compliment right now.
Oh.
I think you're just going to go, you did the thing, and then it's like, oh, it's not for me anymore.
Yeah, it's cool. Let's do other things. There's plenty of
next thing.
There's plenty of other things to do.
So, get my serotonin going.
Like I was trying to explain to somebody the other day, there's metrics to what people consider success for musicians.
Let's go here.
Yeah.
Let's go here. I like where this is going.
Okay, yeah. And it's like a lot of people are like, whoa, you're playing stadiums and arenas. It's like, yeah, it's cool. I mean, it's good for the ego. It's not exactly good for the soul. And the other thing is...
Sage, who plays drums in my band and who plays drums for so many other people and produces this podcast, he and I talk about this all the time. Please go on.
Yeah, but also I'm a sideman, so I don't have a sense of ownership. If I was if my band that achieved that kind of level of success, so that's right. let's say one of my indie rock bands in Seattle blew up and we're playing a stadium. I'd be like, wow, what an amazing, that's a different feeling than be like, well, I'm pretty good at my job and I got lucky and I got hired for this thing and I'm working for an artist and cool.
Right.
But then there's the other side of it, winning a Grammy is how important is that? Buying a house or just having health care or just, writing a good song that people like or just there's so many, I don't look at it as levels. I just see it as different aspects of it. So
different places on the spectrum that a lot of people will choose to,
hang their hat on.
This is important to this person. It's almost a beautiful thing because there is room for everybody. There is room for the person that wants to play cover songs for 7 days a week, 4 hours a day,
great.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Awesome.
There's
Absolutely.
a place for them if that's where if that fills up your cup. There's a place for the person who writes 2 songs a day and goes around every single day to different. There's room for the person that wants to aspire to play arenas. There's and I think that's
fine. Those goals are all valid.
So what do you think that your goals? I have a personal philosophy that your goals sort of are always morphing, and if you don't keep up with what your own shit and your own inner compass, you're going to be continuously reaching for a thing that maybe 13-year-old you wanted, but if you check in with 30-year-old you're like, I don't fucking want that anymore. I want a house and I want to write meaningful things or whatever the thing is.
Yeah, your goals should shift as you get older and your values change and your experiences change. But I'm not a goal setting person. I've never set goals.
Cool.
And it's just I see people that are good at that and they achieve the goals, and that seems really satisfying. But I've kind of just gone through life just hey, let's show up and see what happens. So
it seems to have worked out.
I guess so. It's working out, but I've never been I need to do this to be happy kind of thing. So
that probably. Do you think were you like that pre-big pop arena tour?
Oh yeah, I've always been like that. Yeah, I mean.
Do you think that's why you were able to peel away when you just knew it was time, because it wasn't this big trophy that you had been aspiring for. It came and it was a part of your path.
Yeah,
and then it wasn't
exactly.
anymore.
It was just this is a cool thing. It's sold out Madison Square Garden thing. It's I'm hanging out with presidents or there's all these weird, crazy life experiences that I had through that. But none of those was ever a goal. It was just things that I just kind of, I work hard and I take what I do very seriously. I don't take myself seriously.
But you take your work.
I take my work seriously, but not me.
We're still recording. It's working.
Yeah, but it was never okay, let's make a Dear Diary. I need to, I need to do this by the time I'm 40 or something like that. Yeah, I don't know.
That's no way to live. I don't think that's a way to live life.
Yeah,
mean, a lot of
it
people
works
do
for
it.
some people. It's awesome to see people that can do that and manifest that. I think it's cool.
That sounded really judgmental. I want to take that back.
Oh.
If you so choose, that is a way to do life.
Uh-huh.
That I'm more so on your side of the aisle, though, as far as what I would consider like a healthier existence and a happier, like priming yourself for happier experiences.
Right.
Because then whatever comes is what's meant.
Exactly. The happiest things that ever come into my life have always been surprises. Like anything, everything awesome that's happened in my life is a surprise. I mean, if you really go back to it, like being born, that was a pretty cool surprise. Like, whoa, look at this.
So
this.
true, dude.
Whoa,
You just come out.
What is this? All right. Well, what's next?
What's your earliest memory?
My earliest memory, there's some that I think are fake, so it's hard to say. But there's an earliest memory of
Hold on.
Yeah.
Describe that. What do you mean you think that's fake? Based off of photographs?
Like seeing
and
a picture or something, you know? Like, I don't think our brains are particularly, I don't think they do the best job of keeping reality and,
Right. Especially with all
like
those
early
rock
memories.
and roll drugs.
Yeah, so many drugs. No, I don't do. Drugs are great. They don't work for me.
I'm kidding.
But one of my earliest memories is like sitting at my grandma's piano and like playing like what I later learned was like a C major triad and just sitting there and zoning out.
That's a memory?
That's a memory that's pretty early. But also I kind of remember when a volcano exploded by my farm, Mount St. Helens, in like 1980 and or 81, 80, and I would have been like 2 years old. But I do remember the sky going black. But like you don't remember things when you're 2, right? I think there's some science behind
I'm not
that.
the one to ask. I don't remember a lot of things,
Yeah.
but that's like trauma-based stuff.
That wasn't really trauma-based, but I just
like don't
But again,
remember.
like I don't know if that's a real memory or not. But
Are you having fun right now?
I'm having a blast. You gave me whiskey and
Are you really?
hanging out, talking
I'm just
about
like, I'm
random
putting a bookmark right now to just sort of check in.
Yeah, this is the check-in point of the podcast.
Is this going okay?
Is it going well? It's going well.
Okay.
Is he editing this?
Yeah, he'll be editing it.
Okay, all right.
Dude, I'm so happy you're here.
I'm so
You
happy
know, I
to be
was
here.
happy you were my first guest. I told you this when you walked in, but I'll say it again because this will be immortalized on video. Because you're easy to talk to, and sometimes, are you ever in situations where you are hyper vigilant of how the person across from you is receiving the entire experience?
I think
and-
well,
and
of
so
course.
you're kind of maneuvering for yourself and for the other person because but
Well,
I don't
isn't that
feel
what we do as musicians? Like, aren't we just like hyper aware and trying to be in tune with an audience
but
or
that's
other
not
musicians?
that's not rooted in insecurity. That's rooted in connection.
So you're okay. So this is a different thing we're talking about.
I'm talking about like when the person across from you,
Mm-hmm.
you have a heightened awareness just as a human being
Yeah.
that the person across from you might be kind of uncomfortable for whatever reason.
Oh.
And so you have to make it so that they're comfortable while still not making it known that you are aware
That they're
uncomfortable.
But what if I'm aware that you are aware that I'm uncomfortable?
You wouldn't be. That's even worse, dude. That's even fucking worse.
Yeah.
That's even worse because then you are double. Do you know? Then you have to. We shouldn't have to do any of this. This is sort of this is my natural. This is like my Achilles tendon. Is sometimes it's hard for me to just be in the experience because I'm hyper vigilant about what the other person is perceiving and their discomfort. And if they're aware that I'm aware that they're uncomfortable, that makes it worse because then I have to
why is that not a
back.
valid energy to spur on conversation?
It's a completely valid energy to spur off conversation, I guess. But then that requires and it just requires the person who's aware to be brave enough to bring it up.
Right.
And say, hey, I'm sensing that
Well,
you're kind of uncomfortable.
I'm not
Are you
uncomfortable. No,
you,
no.
Not you specifically.
But the other
like,
person is.
in this hypothetical scenario.
Well, hypothetically, lean into it.
True.
Yeah. I
So
mean,
like if I have a guest on the pod,
yeah,
who's
make
kind
them-
of
and things get weird, go for it. Yeah.
and I can tell that they're not feeling it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And yeah, make them not feel it until they feel it.
Bring it up.
Bring it up. Yeah, that could be a bit. It's like we're at the awkward point of the conversation.
Being like, I can tell you. Do you need to pee? These are. I need to.
Yeah.
I'm hosting.
Yeah, you
This
are
is
hosting.
my
right.
space.
Yeah. But like you don't like this is all new and everything, but like this isn't a goal-oriented. Speaking of goals, this isn't a goal-oriented podcast, right?
Correct. This is not.
I mean, outside of having interesting conversations.
Exactly.
So I love listening to people talk to where maybe somebody's, they're not just agreeing to everything, or there's a little bit of friction or something like that. Yeah, what's that?
I agree.
Yeah, but like
when
you
people
push
are,
through it and see where it goes. Yeah. Are you feeling uncomfortable?
No, I'm not.
I
I rarely feel uncomfortable.
That's good. Yeah.
I'm too.
And I can't be made to have a bad time. That's my superpower.
I'm too hyper aware of everything that's going on at all times.
Okay.
Is a trauma response. Don't worry about it. It's just
Okay.
like an ism of mine. I'm too hyper aware in social situations to ever be uncomfortable. You can put me in any room, maybe just not a room of people being like, "Oh, you suck," but like you can put other than that, like you could put me in any room and
Well, that's something I'd
be able to handle
That's something that like I think I picked up from you like immediately. Like, oh yeah, Emily, she talk to anybody, hang out with anybody. They're gonna find common ground. It's gonna be fun. Yeah.
Yeah, common ground. Because I like talking to people and I like doing this a lot.
Do you like challenging people?
I love no, I don't like challenging people. I like stories. Like I like not in like that sounds so fucking no. I know. I did it. I like to. So normally, if these weren't here, right? If this camera wasn't here, if this camera and if that camera wasn't here,
Yeah.
I would be doing this with Sage. I would be doing this if you came over to have a drink and listen to
this doesn't
something.
feel any different to me than.
And in
hanging
the
out.
life that we lead as people who are making our day-to-days look weird, and there's a lot of life things that happen in when people come to your house or in your studio where you end up sitting and chatting and getting into it. That's different than maybe in another job where if we were, maybe peers as accountants, maybe we wouldn't be just going.
I'd love to be a good accountant.
Would you? I'd be less tortured.
I would know how my taxes work. That would be awesome.
That's true. Do you need someone?
Do I have a what?
Do you have someone to do your taxes?
I have
a good person.
an amazing wife who has somebody.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if you ever need, just let me know.
Oh, do you know somebody?
Yeah, I have to.
Can we say their name on the pod? Give them a shout out. Give them a shout out.
It's gonna make me sound douchey.
Oh, is it? Why?
'Cause it's a business manager.
Oh, that's awesome.
So he does.
Oh, you guys got that? She has a business manager. You're listening to somebody that's successful here. I hope that doesn't.
No,
I hope that
it's
doesn't
honestly,
change.
I did it all for myself for so many years. But it's like anyway.
Sure. No,
What were we talking
you don't
about
have to
before
explain
this?
to me. Yeah, no, it'd be fantastic.
Comfort, challenging people's stories, trite. Okay.
Okay.
I
got
don't
it.
want to be. I don't want. I just love and so here are my thoughts. I could sit and talk one-on-one. I don't love big party social situations, especially when there's a lack of like actual connection when you don't actually
it's all
know
surface.
the
more
people
are, the more surface it is.
Yeah, I like
hard
to have a
connect.
good time, but with people that I know. And I prefer like one or two people at a time and being able to like not always it's not in a deep sense like we always have to have, but just being able to have quality time with people.
Do you want conversations to be illuminating on who that person is and what they think? Or
there's never an end goal. Like I like learning about people because I want it helps inform almost in the way that a therapist sits and listens or asks questions and also probably learns in response. But if I wasn't a songwriter, producer, artist, or any of those things, I would be. I think my next career thing in my not as a goal, but as sort of another dream I have in the.
We need to make it sure. Goals are great. Goals are great.
Fuck goals. No,
Okay,
goals
yeah.
are great.
You know, if you heard it here, yeah. Fuck goals, guys. If you have goals in life, you're doing it wrong.
Fuck that.
Be in the moment.
Be in the fucking moment.
Be in the fucking moment. Look at that girl. She's in the moment.
I keep forgetting she's there.
She gives 0 fucks.
Can she have a name?
She's never set a goal. You know, her goal is get out of bed.
To fuck bitches and get money.
Fuck bitches, get paid.
Who is that? What's her name? Can we name her, like my alter?
Oh, your alter ego?
Yeah.
Let's see. What does she look like?
What does she look like? You meet that girl in a bar.
Oh, she's
What
going
does
to
she
tell
look
you her
like?
name's Vanessa, but it's not.
No.
But it's not. It's not. She's fucking with you. She's going to give
Her
you a fake
name's
name. That girl's going to tell you just whatever she feels like.
Portia.
Oh.
Hi, my name's Portia. I want to fuck.
Portia? No, she's not a Portia. She's got cool sunglasses.
Hey, my name's.
No.
Yo. I'm
I can't give her a name.
Yo, I'm Allie.
Allie,
No.
that's Allie. She's Allie. Allie.
Hey, I'm Allie. You want to be in the bathroom? Make out? You want a fucking cigarette? I don't smoke cigarettes, but that bitch smokes
that
cigarettes.
bitch smokes cigarettes. Yeah,
Which
absolutely.
is, not that smoking cigarettes is. You
no,
still be a
set
good
goals.
person.
Smoke cigarettes.
Set
You've heard it here.
I like to. So I always lose sense of time when I'm like sitting smoking with a friend, talking. And okay, so in another life or in a future pathway of life, I do want to go to school to study and be a psychologist.
That'd be awesome. You'd be great at it. I've never had therapy, but this doesn't feel like therapy. I don't even know what therapy feels like, but
it would be like this.
It would be like this.
But with it's not so much advice. People don't give you. It's a good therapist doesn't tell you what to do. They just sort of let's role play.
Oh,
Can we role play?
Some therapy. Yeah, let's do it.
God, this is so annoying of me. Okay.
Okay. Role play, right?
Yeah, we're gonna role play.
Knock.
I'm your therapist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
we can
Are
start
we going
from the
back
beginning.
to like
we can start from the beginning.
I'm gonna knock on the door.
Yep.
Knock, knock, knock.
Knock, knock, knock. Okay.
Well, you're knocking back.
you knock.
Oh,
hello.
Hi.
Are you
I'm
Ty?
your 3:00. Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice.
COVID. We shouldn't touch.
Oh, awkward. Yeah, I'm your 3:00. Hi. Help me.
Come on in.
Okay.
Blah blah blah. Fast forward.
Close the
We're
door.
chatting.
Okay.
We're chatting. Fast forward.
Okay. Am I being charged for the fast forward?
Not in this
Am
scenario.
I being billed? Okay.
Not in this scenario.
Okay, good.
And you've just come out of the topic of realizing that you want to leave this global keyboard playing pop gig with Katy Perry.
Sure.
You felt nothing on stage.
Yeah,
So say
that's oversimplification, but yeah, I felt it was time to move on. I mean, to get specific, COVID kind of helped that.
I bet.
Just like, okay, everything disappeared.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel good about it. Oh, okay. So yeah, it wasn't like
Are you explaining on the pod, or are you telling me as your therapist?
I'm telling you because it seems like something I would have brought up earlier in the session, but we fast forwarded through that. No.
So it sounds like that's how they are. So it sounds like you had sort of numbed out. Am I getting that right? Am I understanding what you're saying?
Yes, I was no longer feeling the sparks of joy of performing Kissed a Girl on a stage. Yeah.
How did that numbness, did that numbness make you feel anything? How did you, Sage, am I doing therapy right?
That numbness made me feel everything.
So that's what a therapist would do. Their first answer back is always. So if I'm hearing this correctly,
right. So
and then they repeat back
they
what
question my answer. Okay, so there's a process
you said.
To therapy.
That's one therapeutic. From what Sage, from what I've gauged, is that they repeat back to you.
Okay.
Just to clarify that they are receiving.
Got it.
What your perception or your life experience.
Got it.
Of your perception of your life experiences. Yes. They reiterate. I'm also just making sure
they rephrase it in another way that might make a slightly different point.
You hear it back.
You
confirm or make any tweaks.
Confirm or deny.
And then you kind of dig into that subject.
Great.
Like my therapist hands me an emotions wheel.
Ooh, like a Wheel of Fortune, like you spin it.
It's colorful. It spins. Well, it doesn't spin. It doesn't spin.
Well,
It's colorful, and then within the topic, but within the like subject of angry,
yeah.
which will be labeled green. You know, it's maybe colored in green. It does smaller pie slices, and then it'll go specific on different types of angry. So,
Okay.
like, are you frustrated? Are you offended? Or you blah, 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 whatever.
Oh, so you like
Within
just dial
happy,
in how
there's-
you feel about something.
You just dial it in because most of the time, right? We're like, we'll say, I'm pissed. It's like, you're not fucking pissed. Like, what are you really feeling? And sometimes you don't even know
So
until you
dial
see
it
the
in.
thing.
Is pissed yellow?
Might be.
Yeah.
God, that would be smart.
That'd be smart.
That would be smart if pissed. It's not on it. It's
Pissed
not
isn't
on
on
it.
there?
Pissed is
Need
not
a
on
new
it.
wheel. Need a new wheel.
It'll be sad, happy, and then within happy, it'll feel like grateful, overwhelmed, appreciated, encouraged, or I'm probably butchering this, but it's just. I'll put it on the next podcast.
Well,
Will be
yeah,
the
have the
emotions,
digital
the
representation.
emotions. Should we change? Can we change this?
No, she's fucking
Okay.
rad. Allie's rad. I don't want Allie to
Forgot
go
her name was
away.
Allie.
I'll never see her again. She's never gonna call me back.
That's true.
She
She doesn't call people back.
That girl does not call people back.
No. How are you doing on your drink?
Oh, I could use another one. How are you doing?
I'll get you another drink. Do you want to talk to the people while I get us another drink? Okay.
Am I talking to? Here's a great story.
Okay. Take it away, Ty.
One time, I knocked on a door to go to my therapist, and I walked in, and then time just fast forwarded to a degree. I was discombobulated. I was frightened, and as I sat there, she pulled out a color wheel, and repeated back everything that I said to her, and wanted me to convey my deepest thoughts and feelings about on a color wheel. And pissed wasn't even on there. There wasn't even the color yellow. Nope. It was mostly turquoise. And I'm colorblind, as you'll see later as we go into a hallway that is green, but they tell me is blue. They don't
even know what you're talking about yet.
Can't you cut in? Can't you edit in?
I'll see.
How much work are you willing to edit these?
Oh, you don't
things?
even know. We're going hard,
We're
Ty.
going hard?
We're
Okay.
committed, man. We don't do anything half-assed. Just like
Okay.
what you were saying earlier.
Everything what I do very seriously. I don't take myself seriously.
But you take your work.
I take my work seriously.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna do something and not, that's the thing. It's
I never said that I don't do things half-ass. Did I say
I'd be a
that?
terrible therapist then because I totally misheard.
Oh. Well, maybe you should
What did
repeat
you
things
s-
back to me more. So
What did you say?
Take everything what I do very seriously.
You said, okay, maybe that you don't do things half-assed.
I take my work seriously.
That
No, I don't. I take
you
what I
take
do seriously.
What you do seriously, which
Yeah.
to me suggests that you don't half-ass. Like
I'm
if you're
very
gonna,
professional. I'm very professional.
Okay, what if you're gonna lay a floor in your own house?
I'm going to do a bad job because that's hard.
But you'll try hard.
I
You'll
will
care.
try. I will try hard, but I also know the limits, and I respect expertise, and I'm happy to get experts into my life to lay floors. It's hard. Our floor. We had guys put in our floor in our house, and it's hard. They didn't do a great job either.
They were all guys.
Yeah, they were all guys, right? If I would have known. Yeah, I know. In Seattle, there was
guys.
always an ad in The Stranger, which is kind of like the rock rag, for rad
What's rock
rad
rag?
lesbian plumber. And
A real person?
Yeah, real person. And
Nice.
I was like, I wish we had a plumbing problem. We could hire her, but we never had a plumbing problem.
I bet she looked like that.
I hope. Oh man, I bet she's got plumber crack. We just can't see it. She's got, what are the jeans? The big Jinko jeans.
Yeah.
I bet she's wearing
from,
Jinko jeans, just hanging down, sagging.
from the 90s.
She's got butt cleavage going on. Can I say that? Who listens to this? Nobody yet. Wait, or do they?
Nobody yet.
Damn it.
You were right. But they will.
They will. They will.
So you are in a partnership with
Yes.
someone who is not a musician.
No, thank God.
You right? Same.
Yeah. Whew.
You left for a long time touring.
Mm-hmm.
Back, you're in this band for 5 years. and now you're back. You moved from LA.
Mm-hmm.
You're in Nashville. We're
I am.
neighbors. We live
total neighbors around the
8
corner.
minutes from each other.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So
Yeah.
dope.
Cool.
Your new studio. I'm
Studio's
excited to
rad.
see
It's
it.
not
You
as rad as this. I don't have the lighting, but it's good. Yeah.
Thanks. It is really rad though. I've
It
seen
is
pictures of it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Come on over.
Um,
Let's hang out.
Let's hang out. I would love that.
Yeah.
Well, we're doing it right now, technically.
Yeah, you're right.
What are you working on right now? Because I know you're playing. Do you have a trio here?
I have a trio here. It's called Heavy Chevy. It's a
That's right.
funky, weird, rockin', greasy, sexy B3 trio with some awesome musicians here. We're going to go in the studio here in the next month and make an album. So that's super cool. What else am I doing? Oh, playing in MDing, music directing for Joss Stone. We got some stuff coming up.
Ty, you can't just drop that.
Oh, I thought we were
casually.
I thought this was the moment of the podcast where I plug everything I'm
Are
doing.
we on time?
I got nowhere to be.
We can go for a little more, right? Are we okay?
No.
Well,
He's got some editing to do.
I don't want it to be like the end, but
Oh.
I want to talk about the fact that you I didn't know you were MDing for Joss
Yeah. mhm,
Stone.
Yeah. Music.
Joss Stone.
Joss Stone. She's rad.
Josh, not to be confused with Josh Stone.
Josh Stone.
Who's probably, I don't know, a rabbi somewhere.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Joss
Yeah, Joss.
Stone.
Mhm.
Then you drive all night, wonder what use is the night. Do you guys play that? You
No.
can't win anyway from
No.
LP2.
No, the next tour is gonna be 20-year, kind of like a retrospective of like everything. So I don't know what.
Is she gonna cherry pick?
I hope so, and I hope that's one of them. You
know
so
that
I
song?
don't know what the set list is
Don't
gonna
stop
be yet.
lying to me now.
But yeah, there's some old jams.
That whole fucking album's
I know,
crazy, dude.
I know, it's real good.
So
It's real
tell
good.
us what is musical directing for? To me, that's an iconic gig.
Yeah.
She's
She's
an-
absolutely iconic. She's fantastic.
She's iconic. She's
Yeah.
also a mom too.
She is
right?
a mom. She had just had a boy, her second baby just I think last month or something. She's already out,
Wow,
doing stuff. She's incredible. She's a superwoman.
that's wild.
know.
That's those types of
Not to like shame women
anybody
who
else who
don't
don't
have a baby and get right out there. Come on.
No,
But-
no, no. I think that's a topic I'm actually excited to, not to derail. Side note,
Mm-hmm.
this is a topic I'm excited to talk to other people about who do have kids, who do creative work that we do.
Right.
Weird hours, being in the studio, writing, touring,
Mhm.
and like also finding balance
Mhm.
in it, regardless of sort of where
Yeah.
you are.
How do you do it? I have no idea.
Like, cause it's you do well. I guess you do it like I like was blowing my kid's nose all day. I was literally there's a booger sucker. If you're a parent, you know about this.
Is it one of those squeezy things?
No, dude, you have no idea. This
I
is
know,
gonna
I do-
disgust you.
I
This
don't-
is going to disgust you. Okay,
probably.
so it's a tube.
Okay.
It's like a little tube, little cable. I don't want to get off the Joss Stone topic, so this is just a side
Yeah.
note because I want to know
Well,
about
boogers,
musical
then
directing.
Joss. Boogers, Joss.
It's a little tube with a little mouthpiece, and then at the end of it, it's a sort of like small beaker-looking
Mm-hmm.
situation, plastic thing, and that goes in your kid's nose because
okay.
kids don't know how to blow their nose. She's a toddler. Toddlers don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And there's something to block the boogers so that it doesn't get in your mouth,
Oh, you suck it?
but you put it in their nose and you go,
Nope. Nope.
ah, dude.
Nope.
It is.
Nah,
Woo.
nah,
It
nope. Nope. Nope.
It took some getting used to.
Nope.
It took some getting used to.
I'm not getting used to that.
I spent my day doing that today, happily mushing on my baby.
Can't you just like hit them on the back of the head till they fall out or something? Can
You
just,
can.
Like a ketchup bottle? Just
You
like get the boogers
could,
out.
I guess, but you really need to suck it out. I need to go like, and it's wild, and they hate it, or at least my daughter hates it, and but needless to say, there's no doubt in my mind that Pink,
Mhm.
who's to me an icon of icons,
And,
someone
and
I would
by
love
everybody
to talk
that I've
to.
ever worked with that has worked with her, she's awesome.
Yeah, she's a fucking bad bitch.
She is a bad bitch and
Yeah.
an awesome person by all accounts.
Fuck, man. And she has kids. She's like,
Yeah.
she talks about the fact that you eat shit. Like, you literally take shit from your kids happily and there's so much love. But I think with the balance comes from you just do. This was a big fear of mine before having a kid, and now that I'm in it, I've never been like more fired up and more inspired, and also more in my callings of what's a huge reason why I'm like actually pursuing working on this podcast, because there's a hyper awareness now of what I'm more connected to myself, and I guess I'm more in tune with what I want to be doing. This ancillary to my music things, but doing something like this, and so is a part of like what is going to fill up my tank and keep me balanced. Yeah, and but today I sucked out. Sucking boogers. Sucking boogers. Needless to say, I think that like there's no doubt in my mind that
the musical industry,
Joss Stone, even though she's out touring and doing all that, there's no doubt in my mind that she's also changing diapers.
Oh, she's momming hard. Oh,
also
absolutely.
Just doing the thing.
Absolutely.
And you have these like two. They're not one and the same. Like music and I would die for my child. But music is like also, and music is my first love, and for all of us, it's like a lot of our first loves. That like I don't even know why. It's just this like intangible thing, and it like for better or worse, right? Because it sometimes gives you more pain than it's worth. Sometimes there's that thought that has happened. Like this is pain.
Ooh.
This is no, you've never felt that. Like this is hard. Have you ever felt that, Sage? Like I love that. How can something on the hard days?
Okay.
You think. Well, now we're tangenting, but
no.
On the
what
hard,
is a podcast but tangents?
Okay, on the hard days, on the hard days, how can something I love so much be so hurtful? And those were the days when I. How can I love this thing so much that's led me, but then also
would you like ask yourself that question so pointedly that you would like actually like pro and con it or something?
No.
Or was that just something that would float around in your head?
Yeah, like a fleeting. It's like a fleeting feeling.
Right. It's
because
not
it
something you're like,
fleeting.
oh, let's analyze this.
Yeah, because there were moments I would be, opening for XYZ national huge artist, and then 2 days later playing a corporate gig for or a wedding or something. You know, just like whatever you need to make the train keep moving, which is sort of I got stuck in the rat on the wheel thing, which is why I sort of took a sabbatical for a year in my like early 20s. But I don't know how we got here, but I think it
sucking boogers,
I was sucking
existential
boogers.
crisis as far as being a musician.
Balance. You didn't want to shame women who are going back to work right after having a child, and I don't
or don't want to
go back to work.
No, yeah, like.
But I wanted to go back to work, so I understand when you bring that up about someone like Joss Stone going back to work. Yeah, I completely get that because I'm not me if I'm not in pursuit of anything. Do you know what I mean? Like
say that again. Hold on.
In this moment, it's
that.
a podcast. I'm not me if I'm not in pursuit of.
You're not you unless you're in pursuit of a goal. All right. Let's cut the bullshit here, Emily.
Okay,
I think we're getting pointed here.
Oh, it's gonna be a whole other part too. But
all right, goals.
Not a goal.
Focus, a direction. A point.
I don't feel like myself when I don't feel a connection to whatever thing I'm doing. It's the reason I have to make. It's the reason there's piles of laundry that I don't finish. It's because I'm not fucking connected to that.
Do you consider people doing what they don't want to do? Do you consider that work ethic?
Say more. You mean as their job, or as like washing dishes,
or
as
like
a task?
doing. I don't want to do the laundry, but I'm going to do it because I have a work ethic.
Yeah, to me that's a work ethic. That's a survival thing.
That term is like maybe being toxic.
Work ethic?
Yeah.
That's not work ethic. That's survival.
That's survival.
Yeah, and sometimes I'm not surviving. Like I just, folded the laundry after a few days.
Got it.
Not,
but like going to like a numbing like 9-to-5 job.
That's not work
that's survival.
ethic to me.
Okay, so work ethic to you is like doing something that you love and you want to do.
No, work ethic is how you do anything you're doing, whether you like it or not. It's not what you are doing. It's how you are doing it. It's like my daughter loves to pick up the trash. It's like her new thing now. She'll find a little speck on the floor.
Just don't tell her it's trash. Just let her
Well,
keep doing
she
it.
loves it.
It's a fun
though.
game.
She says trash, trash,
Oh,
and she takes like
that's
a little
cute.
piece of paper,
Mhm.
and I'll say trash. The way that girl picks up the piece of paper and walks to the trash in that moment,
Mhm.
that is the most important thing to her. Well, obviously also because she's a year and a half, she didn't know what that was. That's a huge adventure. Like that's a huge discovery for her that she can throw something away.
But like flash forward 30 years, what's your trash? And like how has that changed? How has that changed over the years? Do you still have that
Dude,
focus?
that's a good question.
It is a good question.
I think when my work ethic starts to waver, I'm trying to think of when but then some things aren't work ethic. Some things are just rooted in like either your ism as a person
Mhm.
or a certain obsessive personality type. So like for me, I don't love certain things, but if I don't like cleaning the baseboards, right?
Okay.
But I when I do clean my baseboards, I can't
Are you supposed to clean your baseboards?
They get so dirty. Yeah, they get dusty and gross.
Okay.
Yeah,
I must have some dirty
someone
ass.
tell this
I have
guy.
some dirty ass baseboards then.
Guys, are you serious? You have to clean your baseboards. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. You have to clean your baseboards. You have
I'm
to.
going home right now and cleaning my
to.
baseboards.
You're going to be. Just call me later.
Okay.
So when I do my baseboards in the house, I don't like doing it, but I can't do it shittily.
Right. Okay.
Because
I see. Yeah.
not having anything to do with work ethic,
Mhm.
it stems from a thing of like an OCD.
Yeah, we all got that.
So
We're
the
musicians,
way I
OCD,
do
yeah.
it is very intense, and I'm on my hands and my knees, and it takes me way longer than if my wife did it or
Mm-hmm.
if anybody else did it, because the way I have to do it. So I don't know if that's not work ethic.
When you're done, does it give you joy or does it just stop bad feelings? It does bring you joy. You get a little pop. You get a little pop of serotonin.
Your question just fucked me up a little bit. Hold on, I'm trying to process.
Or is it bringing you joy, or is it just staving off feeling bad about it?
Feeling bad that I didn't do it? No, it's
or just
joy.
knowing that it needs to be done and you're not doing it. And
cleaning
it's just
the
there.
baseboards sparks joy.
Mm-hmm.
Doing laundry relieves a pressure and makes me
relieves the pressure. That's a great way to look at it.
relieves the pressure.
Relieves the pressure. I like that.
And so maybe different things are different things for certain people, and then what drives that.
Mm-hmm.
But just like a job for some people is just based in like, I want to enjoy what is not my job, so I'm just going to do my fill in the blank job, show up, do it, get paid, so that I can go be
yourself,
be myself, and my other rest of it. That's very different for I think what we have chosen.
Yeah, I mean,
to do.
I would say that like what I do is not fundamentally different than what you do, but you generally do your own thing, which is an expression of yourself, to where I generally work for artists and I try to be an expression of themselves, to whatever degree that is.
The vessel that is your instrument, though. No?
How do you mean? Say again?
Like, people choose Ty because...
Yeah, because
you're Ty, you're not some... Like,
I can do the job and I fit into whatever vibe they're looking for or something like that.
But you're still of service to the thing, just as I would be of service to the thing, even though the thing is my own thing, and the thing you're doing is maybe...
Oh, so you're just metaing it one extra step.
Your keyboard is like what you are to your keys is like what I am to maybe my own music.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like the way you treat the keyboard is the way you treat, right?
Yeah, but your service to your own music is what's the next step of that? Because my service to my keyboard is to an artist.
But I produce other artists too.
There you go.
So sometimes I have to be like, yeah. How did we get here?
Sucking burgers.
That's right. Sucking boogers. Okay, what
Sucking
projects?
boogers. That's the name of the podcast. Sucking
Fuck,
boogers.
that should be the name of the episode. Sucking boogers with Ty Baille.
No, not me. Don't put my name to Sucking Boogers. This is your
The
podcast.
contraption is crazy. You would throw up if you saw it.
Well,
You
yeah, you gotta
shove it up their nose and you suck it out.
Wow, but you love it. It's your baby.
I love her,
You
yeah.
love your baby.
Yeah, she.
Would you do it to somebody else's child?
Fuck
What if they
no.
really needed it?
Dude, other people's kids, I see that they could be just as sticky and dirty as my kid, and I'm like, you're disgusting.
Yeah.
And then I see Lou, I'm like,
Well, she's a
you
beautiful
are
angel.
the angel from the heavens, and
Yeah.
what university you come from? Like, where did your soul come from before it came here? What projects do you have to plug?
Yeah.
Okay, you're MDing for Joss Stone.
Yes.
Can I pitch a song?
Yes. Which one? Can you play it without copyright issues?
No, I'm not
What are you
gonna
doing?
play
Oh,
it,
you're
but
looking it up.
I'm gonna look it up because I, this you can just lie, you can just humor me
No,
right now.
pitch it.
Do you have any pull with her because you're her music director, being like, I think the fans want this.
I can certainly lie like that.
Fans being party of
A
one.
fan wants this. I'll just leave the S off.
I would say cry myself to sleep.
Cry myself to sleep. Okay, is that off LP too?
Cry myself to sleep. Oh, stop before it starts. I'm gonna give myself a man. Kind of like that.
Okay.
It's on the album. It's on LP1.
That's LP1. Okay, dope. Cry myself to sleep. LP once. We'll
Produced by not credited, but I think it was Dave Stewart.
probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dave and her still do cool stuff.
That's rad. So I would say Drive Myself to Sleep. You'd slay that too.
Okay. Copy that.
What is the next? So what's next up for that? You guys you're prepping.
I
to
actually
go-
don't think it's announced, so I can't announce. But
we can cut this part out then.
South America tour, Mexico tour in April.
In regards to your job, are you allowed to talk about that? Like, what do you?
I just don't
like,
think it's been announced.
Okay,
This podcast's not going to come out for a while.
No,
right?
we'll wait.
I'm sure it'll be announced at some point. Yeah.
So you're gearing up for that, and then you have your trio stuff.
Trio
in
stuff.
town in Nashville. We're in
nothing in
Nashville.
town. No, saying no to gigs until we record a damn album. So that's what's going on with that.
Cool. With the trio.
With the trio, yeah.
Where are you wanting to record? And is the music all original?
Yeah, all original, all instrumental. We're gonna have lots of special guests on there, and it's just gonna be awesome and epic and fantastic. Don't know the studio yet. I think it's Sound Emporium.
Wow. Oh, you're going big.
Oh yeah.
You're gonna go to like a big space
Yeah.
and just fucking go.
We're worth it. We're worth it. Yeah, and also
Fuck
like
yeah, dude. That's
it's-
how I feel about this pod.
hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on, we're worth it.
Yeah.
This is a goal of mine to be here. The
Nice.
and I mean, like, so, like, for those that don't know, like, an organ trio is
I'm gonna
Hammond
regret
organ,
this. Just
guitar.
if I get
yeah,
weird.
smoke it. We're
If I
breaking
get-
out the emergency.
I
home
think we're almost
stretch.
over.
You
so
know
if
what?
I
I think this
if
is-
I get weird, then
No.
it doesn't matter.
I think when you break that out, then we're in like the
Can you blur this out,
the
Sage?
third act.
All right, blur me out.
Oh yeah, because we're in. No, it's legal here.
It's legal, but it's like,
wherever we're
I
at.
was gonna watch
Yeah.
it.
Point being, so Hammond organ, guitar, drums. Not everybody knows how to record. There's no bass player. I play with like bass pedals in my left hand, and it's a specific sound. It's a specific thing. It's worth having like a good room, good mics, good engineer, and somebody that knows what they're doing with it.
Did you guys just do a live video?
Yeah,
with
we
this
have we did a thing
pitch
for Minel
meeting?
Cymbals. Yeah, we went and recorded at Castle Studios in Franklin, which is just basically a castle that has an awesome studio in there. Yeah, and there's a bunch of videos up on YouTube. Minel, Meinl, Cymbals.
Oh, it's on Minel's. It's not on. What is the pitch
Minel.
meeting
It's
thing
the
I
name
saw?
of the it's the name of the cymbal company that paid us to do it, or produced it
Well, I
and
love
had us do it.
Minel. Minel, we love you.
Yeah, plug in Minel cymbals. Whoop! I guess they're good. She plays drums.
His drums out there.
Okay, sponsored by Minel. There we go.
Allie loves drums too.
Oh, Allie's so fucking cool. She just gets me. Allie just gets me. You
Is
know,
that
we
the-
can just talk for hours or not talk. We can just sit there
Stare at each other.
and just like, she's just got a lot of feelings she's working through. I'm just giving her some space right now. You know?
Yeah. She's
I
hot
like,
though.
I like her. I like that Yeah, perfect
you,
sized
AI.
breasts.
So let me do the.
Yeah, girls are hot.
You guys have enough music for an album at the moment? Or
We need to write 2 more things. 2 more songs.
How
and
many
we got
songs
it.
do you have?
We have 8.
So you're
I
gonna
think
make a
10's
10
solid.
song album. Any vocalists on it?
Probably not this one,
Okay.
but eventually, very much. Yeah, we're gonna turn it into a guest star machine.
Cool.
Yeah.
And you want to be I don't want to liken you to anything, but like in the way that the you know what I'm going to say.
No.
You know the band, they do instrumental, they have guests, they went huge
Oh, Scary Pockets, or Postmodern Jukebox.
in that world.
Or there's another one.
Do you know what I'm talking about? What are they called? V. Wolfpack.
Yeah, Wolfpack guys. Yeah.
Like that kind of vibe where
Well, that's the vibe. Yeah,
you'd
and like
pop
our
off and
drummer.
tour, and like you would want to tour on that stuff, I would imagine, because
Well,
it
the
is
drummer's
original.
The drummer is Petar Yannick, who plays with Corey Wong, who's in Wolfpack. Yeah, it's like we're Wolfpack adjacent in some ways.
That's
Yeah,
so
I mean,
cool.
yeah, it'd be fun. Yeah, it's a fun band to just go out, play some festivals, do some tours with.
How'd
No
you
big whoop.
how'd you meet the gentleman? No
Gentlemen,
ladies, right?
yes, they all identify as male.
Okay.
Yeah, the guitar player, yeah, Adam and Petar, Adam McPhail and Petar Yannick are the guys. Yeah, just met them, just like landed in Nashville, started playing with musicians, and it just leads to other musicians, and then you find people you click with.
How does that conversation go? Like, hey, I want to start a band. Is it like in high school?
No, it's
And you're like, I want to start a
that's
band.
Cute.
Do you want to
That's
play
adorable.
with me?
No,
or-
it's in fact I've been avoiding starting a band most since I left Seattle, and I've done a very good job of avoiding starting a band. But these guys, we just kind of clicked, and we're
Yeah.
like, all right, we're a band.
When you see me, there's no fear, 'cause we're best friends.
That's sweet.
Shit. Now we're doing band things. We're having band meetings, and
Wow,
we're
you guys
like
are is it
scheduling and like
weekly?
talking management and booking bookers, and now it's a band. Shit. So anyway, but it's great. I wouldn't do it with anybody else.
Do you trust me like I trust you? I don't care who over.
But yeah, I've been avoiding being in a band situation for over a decade.
out of PTSD from?
Not so much. Yeah, maybe
Seattle?
PTSD, but just like, the culture in Seattle was you're in a band, and like being kind of like a gun for hire sideman, which is what I really wanted to be. Turns out, it was kind of frowned on. All the grunge guys think they're punk, and all the indie rock guys, they're all very band oriented up there. It's fine. It's great. It's just like not healthy.
Macklemore's from Seattle.
Yeah, cool guy. Hung with him once at a grocery store. By hung with him, I was in line at a grocery store with them. And by in line and by in line I meant like I was four back.
That's amazing.
I was at his house in
That's
Malibu
funny.
once.
Funny story.
That he wasn't there, but I was at his house in Malibu randomly for something.
but he wasn't at
He
his
wasn't
home.
there. So again, Macklemore and me, super tight. Super tight.
I was his runner once.
Oh, there you go. Again, God, is he what brought us together? I think cosmically.
Is he our mutual friend?
I think so. I think I'll have to check Facebook. Ugh.
I like Macklemore.
We just
a
dated
lot.
this podcast.
I know. We
Yeah.
did just date it. It's
By,
permanent now.
not from Macklemore, but by Facebook.
He's releasing new music, by the way. So he's not. We're not dated. He's
I think he's great.
pop culture.
Whatever. I mean, like Seattle's, we only have so many superstars. We have a lot of them,
Yeah,
but
Brandy
like ones that,
Carlisle. Right? She's OG.
oh yeah, she's OG. I mean,
Like-
I wonder. I don't know if Seattle. She does. I mean, she is Seattle to me.
You played with her.
Have I played with her? I
do you
MD'd
play
a
with
thing.
her? You
I
played
MD'd
in
a function. I MD'd an award show for her in Seattle
Cool.
before COVID. She was supposed to perform, but she had laryngitis. But she's cool. Talked to her a couple times. Been her. She's great.
I opened for her twice.
Yeah. How was that?
It was good. I wasn't good at that time,
You were-
so I'm shocked I got the gig. I mean,
Oh.
I was good, but
Mhm.
like it would go over differently now, I'd imagine. But like
Mm-hmm.
it was like I was the fill-in for it was Rufus Wainwright.
Yeah. Rufus Wainwright.
'Cause there's another Wainwright. His
Yeah,
daughter
Loudon, Rufus, and
Loudon. No,
Loudon's
Rufus,
the dad, and Martha Wainwright, I believe, is the daughter.
Martha. One of the Wainwrights, the female, was the opener, and
Yeah.
she got sick, and so
Oh,
they needed a
okay.
sub.
Yeah.
opener, like literally last minute.
Mm-hmm.
And so I played 2 shows, and then the 3rd show I was her runner. Wah, wah, wah. I was in college. I had like
That's
5
awesome
songs
story.
to my name. Yeah.
Oh, that's adorable.
Yeah, it's sweet. It's sweet.
Yeah.
It was cute. So we have that in common too.
Yeah. I've never ran for anything for Brandy Carlisle, but yeah, I guess that's the same thing.
Joss Stone.
Joss, I've never gotten. I'll run and get Joss anything she wants. She wants a diet.
Well, no, not a
Pepsi.
run. You're not a runner.
I'll run anywhere for that woman. She's rad. She
seems
wants a bag of
very-
pretzels. I'll go get them.
She seems like I don't like the word normal, but
No,
That's
she's
so cool.
she's absolutely a real person.
she
She's lovely.
seems just I think maybe down to earth is the word.
Yeah,
Like she
she's
seems
absolutely.
down to earth.
And she's been famous since she was 15.
Really?
Yeah, I think she hit
don't-
she was like 15 or 16 or something.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, man,
That's
man.
wild.
She's been doing it a
And
while.
she's still like even keeled. That's nice.
She's more than even killed. She's awesome.
That's
Fan-
badass.
Yeah, it's
Very
fun to
cool.
work for an artist that when they walk in the room, you don't instinctively turn around and walk out.
And get like a panic, like
Yeah, yeah.
That's
yeah,
how
it's
Sage
it's a good it's a
feels
good
when I
it's a
walk into
good
the room.
weird feeling.
I walk into the room and Sage is like, "Oh, I'm out of here." Oh God, what a horrible environment! I would never. I realized running for bands that kind of like taught me a lot as to what culture sort of has longevity within groups of people,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like always just respect and like the younger groups and artists were always, not always, but 9 times out of 10 not great
Yeah.
as guests in the vicinity.
Mm-hmm.
And the older groups or the groups who were maybe breaking but at a later time in life, like a Macklemore,
Mm-hmm.
were always way more down to earth and even
Sure.
keeled and respectful.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
So that's like always nice to know when you
It's nice to know when people are
someone's
nice.
like not a actual.
It's nice to know who the nice and the good ones are.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm. For
So
sure.
we're the bad one. No, I'm kidding.
Uh,
Tell us what's next. So you're making this album.
Yeah, some Joss stuff. I'm also just started playing shows with Don Felder from the Eagles, and that's fun.
It's
Fun to
casual.
show up and play Eagles tunes.
That's very. Have you seen their doc?
Which one?
The okay. I don't know if it's the most recent.
There's one
but
that
it's in
came out a few
3
years ago. There's like
parts.
3 parts. Yeah,
That
I
one.
saw that. I was on tour and I was watching that in my bunk. That was my kind of fall asleep thing some
Did you
years
like it?
back. Yeah, I liked it. It's a lot about the Eagles.
And they're like the way they're business savvy too. Like the whole
Mm-hmm.
the whole thing was just blue. I want to rewatch it. You've just
I
inspired
need to.
me.
I should rewatch it now. I don't know. I don't like. When I'm working with artists, I don't like to know too much about it
Totally.
because
You want to find it out organically.
or just just enter the situation as just human beings without
Yeah.
preconceptions and baggage. You know what I mean?
So that
'Cause,
might
like-
be weird for you to watch that now, knowing that you're
Yeah,
because
then I'm gonna be like,
yeah.
"Hey, Don
Yeah,
Felder,
dude.
tell me a Glenn Fry story," and it's just like, I'd rather interact like normally, as opposed. It's like when I got the Katy gig. What was that movie? Part of Me, or and everybody's like, "Oh, that movie, watch it." I'm like, "No,
Is she on a movie?
it's a movie." Yeah, it was a thing.
Oh.
I was just just a documentary of her tour thing, and it was a whole
I get
thing.
that though. I
Yeah,
get that
and, like,
completely.
I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just weird, and like I don't trust movies and documentaries.
Right. On a less like famous level, it's also the thing of like, I'm not gonna look at their Instagram before I meet them. I'm not gonna
Oh, okay.
like if there's a new person. I don't know. It's like I don't want to have a preconceived,
Notion.
conscious or not,
Sure. Yeah.
bias of just like want to bring it back to the basics of like
Yeah, just like
what can I see at
face to
face
face.
value?
Here's a human being. I'm a human being. What's the
Yeah,
vibe?
like, yeah,
Go from there. No,
Yeah,
I believe
yeah,
that, and I
totally.
hope we're getting back to that. I don't know, as human beings.
We are with this pod. Tell you
We
that
are with
much.
this pod. Yeah, some real shit, guys.
Some real shit.
Real shit.
I feel like we're getting cozy now.
Yeah.
I feel like if this was the beginning of the pod
Well, hey, we start right now.
and
Enlightened or whatever.
Cut.
no, you need to come back for part 2.
Okay, part 2. Oh shit, I got re-invited.
Already reinvited. First guest. Already reinvited.
First guest already. Emily's having trouble booking anybody else. It's just going to be me for maybe the next 4 or 5.
You live so close.
It is
so convenient.
Yeah, and like you have the whiskey I like. It's fantastic. It's really good. We didn't get into enlightenment.
I think this isn't like. I think we're doing it.
We're a casual enlightenment without unforced enlightenment.
So the name of the pod,
Mm-hmm.
if we stick with it, is Enlightened or whatever.
Yeah.
So many meanings from so many different levels, but also I just thought it was like it's funny. It's funny.
Yeah.
And I think that I find it like I'll probably end up talking about this quite a bit, but like, you know, I when I got into sort of the world, I remember when I discovered Ram Dass and like certain teachers in the existential spiritual realm, of which I was always seeking sort of answers to. And that becoming literally so identity, not even like such a requirement of myself to be like, I was now wearing that as like my new identity.
Okay,
like,
sure.
I am like an all-knowing, like I read books. You know what I mean? Like
Well, we all read books in our 20s and turn into assholes for a bit.
I had
you know?
space, you know, and then like you're like sitting,
Oh God,
shit. Like
I didn't go
you're
that
just
far down, but
on your shit and kind of like everybody needs to be in therapy, and then you realize that is beyond pious and not at all what an actual enlightened person would do, and you're actually being the thing, and that's not.
You're being performative.
You're being performative, and you're being like a caricature of a thing that you. What really being enlightened, and I think just being a present person in the world is just being in your day. So if you're fucking laughing and for a while, I thought I had to be serious. Like I kind of hid my funny for a second because I was like, I'm into all this shit, you know, and I'm discovering some things, and I'm on this path, and like I think I dialed down my funny, which is a huge part of me in my life, of my inner world and my inner circle and my own head.
Yeah.
And they're not they're not mutually exclusive.
No, not at all.
It's like monks fucking laugh. I just watched a podcast with Shia LaBeouf talking about this, and he was like living in a monastery for a few months, and how these like monks just laughed.
They're having a great time.
At nothing.
Yeah.
You know, and how light
and they laugh so much. You never think monks are they just they're laughing all the time. Like they've cultivated their innocence.
Or whether I'm like wiping shit and changing a diaper or
Sucking
snorting
boogers.
boogers, or whether I'm making music, like that's now what I'm in pursuit of, is just being like really in that. Whatever the task is, like whatever the thing is your spiritual practice.
Got it.
For that sake. So, you know, if I am sucking boogers, that is my spiritual practice of the moment, because that is the most important thing. It's only right now. So that
being
is,
in the moment and intent, that's what's important.
Yeah, and also not being like, I think I was like, I'm sure I still have moments about it being pious and like a little bit like, you know, like pontificate and things like that, but that's where the whatever comes from, because then I went through a phase of where I came out the other end not as a performative version of myself, but just as like, oh, this is myself, but now having seeped in some new information as to how I want to live day-to-day moments. But I can still be funny. I can still curse. I can still say crude things if that is who I am.
Who wants to be enlightened if you can't make like a booger joke? You know, like, come on.
It's true. It's fucking true.
What is this enlightenment that we're being sold?
That's the thing, though. People do sell it, and they come for people. I'm like specifically like, I mean, it's all over social media. It's everybody is knowing something that they need to impart on other people, and it's serious, and I don't know, and sometimes you have to like like there. I just see a lot of the performative thing, and I think it was because I recognized it for a second
Sure.
in myself.
You went through it.
in like some other ways.
Yeah.
And then I started, especially during the COVID era, where we were all kind of doing our own thing. That's when I got heavy into podcasts and watching a lot of podcasts, and veered completely into the lane of what I love, which is a lot of comedy and a lot of comedy podcasts. And I grew up, for better or worse, as like a young child. It's definitely not cool, like not a great thing, but it's like my dad listening to like Howard Stern. So it's like I knew I loved listening to people just think about their fucking, like, whether it's circle jerky or not, just like just riffing on ideas of their own lives.
Right.
That's so fun, and being themselves while they do it is what's exciting to me. And so I don't want to have all these like restraints. I'm finally like, I want to be exactly who the fuck I am around, just when it's my friends and I in the room.
Sure. Yeah.
And so that's why I was excited to like do this, because I have the best conversations with people. And
it's interesting to me when I came in here and you
to.
told me the name of the podcast. I had a moment of panic because.
You thought it was going to be that.
Well, no, just like, I mean,
meditate.
I've never concerned myself with being enlightened. Like that as a concept has never kind of been a thing for me. And like it might just be ignorance is bliss, but I guess the term is loaded a little bit, and I kind of just don't know what it means.
Do you think it's spun out and become this thing that is a thing that is being sought? Which what you just said to me is what like the enlightened person actually says.
Well, that's the other thing
I don't
too.
bother
and
myself
it's just
with
like, and I'm like,
it. You just
am
are.
I gonna like
in your life?
Am I gonna like stroke my ego so much and be like, oh, I'm enlightened because I don't think about being enlightened? It's like, nah, that's bullshit too.
Right, like anything you say.
Fucking, whatever. But like, I mean, I think my experience with just that term is like living in Seattle in like uber liberal, super hippy dippy kind of surroundings, which is wonderful. But like it always felt performative. It always felt like a product being sold.
Yes.
And when you say like seriousness, it's like, yeah, I've never met more self-serious people than, enlightened hippies. It's just nothing against enlightened hippies, but yeah, the seriousness of it just absolutely I bounced off of really hard immediately.
Yeah.
So in my formative years to where that might have like taken a foothold, I bounced off it really hard. And not to where like, F this is stupid. It's just like, it's just not for me. I'm figure out my own thing.
Because I agree with you, when it becomes its own sort of category of it, to me it's like, yeah, you can be a person who curses on stage every night and makes jokes and what, but it's like enlightened isn't a like status. It's just is it
something you're striving for? Is it something to be achieved? Is it something to just have in the back of your head? Is it a goal?
Oh, for me?
Yeah.
I think that I definitely at one point had this mission.
Yeah.
Thought of it in terms of like a thing to be, a product to become, product of a human being to but that's what happens when you start reading all of these texts and all these like books from actual legit teachers, that it always starts that way. It's just like thing you seek to become, until you realize it's not a thing to seek to become. It's just being engaged in your life and not being so not looking at it as an outside of you thing to aspire to or to reach or to showcase to others. That's why I'm calling this enlightened or whatever. Yeah. And I hope it doesn't come across as like people are going to think we're up here circle jerking about it all.
Well,
but
I'm happy to represent the whatever. But I mean, I'm big on role models. I mean, who's enlightened? Who do we got? Who would one say is like an evolved human? Because like we should have examples if it was achievable, and not just stories. We should have have a living people.
I think it's achievable in glimmers, but we're flawed by nature. We're flawed. People are flawed. We're not perfect. So But
Well, who sets the metric of perfect? Us. I mean, I don't know what's perfect. I don't know. We're setting that metric.
right. So do you
So
think
let's set
there
the bar
are?
lower. This is what I'm saying. We're perfect.
Do you think that a less enlightened person would? Okay, so what do you think that a more enlightened person, not better or worse than anything, what genuinely, like I'm thinking about this, what does more enlightened person look like versus
An unenlightened person.
Right.
Well, that's
What is
that's
that in
that's
your
a beautiful
eyes?
question. I mean, I think the stereotype is somebody that's very outside of themselves, altruistic, calm,
Enlightened?
enlightened. Yeah,
The
is that what we're
trite
saying?
version of it. I
The
mean,
trite version. Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know if I have a personal definition of it.
truly though, not like what we see. What you really believe would be someone truly being enlightened. What does that look like?
I would say it's somebody that's maybe fucking happy. I don't know. Maybe that's just the easiest one. Just somebody that's content and happy and accepting of, what they can't change. I don't know. That's a tough one.
That's a really hard question.
Well, it's what we should be asking on this podcast.
It is, but
Because
it's also,
okay, we know what the word enlightened means by all the, what we're told and what we read. But what's the whatever? What is the whatever? It's not just the opposite of that.
Well, that's an interesting way to frame it because you're thinking about it as two separate entities, enlightened, next subject, or whatever. I'm looking at it as a comment about about enlightened.
Okay, so
Or enlightened, or fuck that.
is it important?
It doesn't exist. It's not a thing.
Is it important? Yeah. Is it even important to define enlightenment? Is it even important, or is it just something we keep redefining and just cooking around in our head and
Yes, that's
coming
what
around to it?
I think you're on the right path when you're talking about contentment and happiness.
But is it rooted in self-improvement and narcissism though?
No. The most enlightened, by our definition, happy, enlightened people that I know are not the trite definition of enlightened, are not even outward facing people, right? Like they're not even people that are on the internet or anything like that. They're just in their lives.
Right.
That's what I think's enlightened. Enlightened about what is really important and what is reality and what is not.
Yeah.
I don't know. I talk about this a lot with my aunt has been in meditation and mindfulness for 25 years, and these are the conversations I love to hear her have and talk about but again, this isn't the type of podcast I wanted to make because I don't want to make a podcast every, however often of an hour, 2 hours of the heady, deep, intense, more of the what is enlightened?
Oh,
it's if we're really enlightened, we're just gonna do what we enjoy, which is sit here,
talk about
drink,
boogers,
and talk about what the fuck makes us happy.
Boogers. Okay, good.
So that to me is what.
Got it.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Great.
I'm not contriving, let's talk about what is enlightened. Well, it happened organically for us, which is nice, but But also, that's good you're defining this podcast as we go. Exactly.
So, so we just figured out, okay, that's not where you want us.
We're enlightened because we chose to sit here and lean into connecting with each other and having our drinks, and if it got weird, it got weird. If it didn't, but not curating some idea of what this was gonna Hey Ty, what do you think enlightened means? The whole idea, it's meta. The whole idea of enlightened or whatever is it's exactly what it ended up being, which is just two buds laughing and having conversation. Because that's to me what the meat of life is.
Hanging out. What little I know about the Jewish religion, which is nothing. But whenever I'm around it, there's this sense of just haha, we're alive, but also I don't know, but
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
I don't know. It's like, let's have a great time.
They could come for us at any moment.
Anytime
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
So you have to soak
What
it
are you
in.
gonna do?
That is kind of a Jewish thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
and I like that. I respond to that. I think that's a healthy way to look at the universe.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, like life over everything
Yeah,
is always
absolutely.
that's like a core element. So you perceive that properly. Dude.
Cool.
I feel like this is a really nice place to end. This came full circle. Ty Baille, everyone. Can you
Nailed it.
leave us with a joke?
Nailed it.
Can you leave us with a joke?
Absolutely not. Is this a bit? Never. No. Is this how you end your podcast by making the guest tell a joke?
We'll make it as it comes. You're gonna do a joke?
Why'd the little girl fall out of the swing?
I don't know.
I thought you were going to try to answer that like you were really thinking about it.
For
She didn't
some.
have any arms. Knock, knock.
I don't.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Not the little girl.
Oh shit! All right, we're done. That was amazing.